What's up, everybody? It's me, Erica, and we are down here for another video, girl. I was like, while I'm sitting here, we might as well make all the videos that we can today. Hopefully I can get through. Lately, that video yesterday, that where we talked about co-parenting with your parents and feeling guilty about being a solo parent. Um, that video, I don't think I edited. I didn't add anything to the video. I think it was just a straight through video, no edits. I don't remember. I have to look at I have to see how long the raw video is. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know you stopped by. Hype my video up. Hype my channel up. Hype me up. I hype me up. They said you can only hype up 3 content creators a week. So hype me up this week. The people said, I went to my channel and it says, hold on, let me see.
Why minoxidil plus biotin?
No, girl, come on, ad. What is this ad? It's for hers. Minoxidil is a prescription ingredient proven to regrow hair in 3 to 6 months. That's the ad on my video. But when you go to the video, let me see if you can see it on here. Okay, now let me go to somebody else's. Let me go to Rodney's video. Okay. Okay, it doesn't have it on his yet. Wait a minute. Ask, download, clip. No. I just saw it earlier on somebody's video and it said hype up the video. Okay, I don't see it anymore. Maybe I already hyped up 3 people. I don't know. Girl, what is this meeting? Girl, I'm not going. They're gonna have to call for me. They're gonna have to send for me. All right, so shout out to Lizzo. Okay, so what are we talking about? Let's go down to the blogs and see. Northwest, 12 years old, gets a dermal finger piercing. What age were you allowed to get pierced? Photos are circulating online of Kim Kardashian's eldest daughter, Northwest, rocking a new finger piercing. Socialites, at what age did your parents allow you to get pierced? Well, I had no say. My ears were pierced when I was 7 weeks old. Now I didn't get my second and third holes. I got 2 holes, and then up here at the top in the cartilage on both sides, but I don't use them anymore. I mean, I have this one in here still because I was like, let me salvage at least one little hole. But I think that was like when I was 16, 17 years old. I've had my tongue pierced. I took my tongue piercing out when I was 30. I had my labret pierced. I never did my nose or my eyebrows. I had my belly button pierced. My body rejected my belly button piercing. I had my nipples pierced, but I took it out. I've had both pierced, but I took one out, and then the other one I just took out about 2 years ago, and I was like, fuck it. Because I just love the way it looks. It's just jewelry. But that's all the piercings that I have had. And a lot of the majority of them were in my I was an adult, considered an adult. But I think my second and third piercings, I might have been still in, I don't know if I was still in high school. I gotta go look at my pictures. I don't remember when I got my next holes, but I don't think I had to get permission to get them. Body modifications, that's the Kardashians, girl. I'd rather her get a dermal piercing than ask for a nose job, because I'm sure Chris will be like, oh, I have the perfect person. You understand what I'm saying? So I'd rather her get a little dermal piercing on her finger, which is weird because it's like it's just like right in here, which I think I don't know, it might be cute, but I feel like if the bone is too close, I don't know how much skin do you have right there. I feel like your body would reject that on the finger. I'll show y'all what they're talking about. What song are they playing? You can ask the flowers. I have to get my groove on real quick. I said my ears were pierced at 7 weeks old. My next ear piercing was at 16 or 17. Whatever her mother says is appropriate is appropriate. I was pierced as a newborn in my ears, so 6 weeks, right? She's rich. They live by different rules. Don't compare your kids to hers. They actually don't live by, I mean, the value set might be different, but they're not living like different lives. She's 12 years old. She's dyeing her hair. She's d- messing with fashion. Look who her father is. Look who her mother is. Those have to be taken into consideration. She's not having a necessarily different experience than kids. She's probably able to do a little bit more than kids who don't have the access to the wealth that she has. But her preteen experience is just like the girl in Minnesota. They dyeing their hair, trying to figure out what they look like, lining their lips black, putting black makeup on. I don't know what they're doing. She gives me alternative goth type of energy. Northwest gives me so cute, and this little outfit she has on is so cute. And when you look at her face, she really looks like a mixture between her dad and her mom. I don't think it's a big deal. I just feel like the finger, I would like, if I was her mom, I would be like, I would tell her about my experience about your body rejecting piercings, um, and pushing it out. Like I've seen people with like scars on their brows, and they share that the earring, your body will like say get out, and it will push it out. That happened on my belly button. And so I figured that what happened on the, I don't know if any piercers are out there, but would that actually happen on the finger? Because is there enough fat on the finger? Because that's what you're really piercing, is kind of fat. I mean, some pierce cartilage, but like on your finger, you're piercing fat. So I don't know how that would look. And then what if it gets caught in something? No, that's what I would be like, girl, your finger could get caught in something. That's not, I feel like that's dangerous. Now that like as a mom or a caregiver, I would be like, are you sure you want to do that? Because it might reject you. You want to put it somewhere where there's a little bit more fat, right? Cardi B has one right here in her like right here. Now I wouldn't tell a 12-year-old to put any do any facial modifications outside of piercing their nose, because that is a modification, right? A piercing. So their nose, not their eyebrows, until you are able to make your own decisions. If it's left up to me, no. Lips, no. The little dimples, no, no face modifications outside of the nose. Ears, body. I see people with dermal piercings in their. I'm just scared of dermal piercings because I feel like if they get snagged on something, how it will pull, and I don't want my skin being pulled like that over here with stretch lobes. I don't want my skin I don't want my skin being pulled like that. Yeah, I stretch my lobes. I sit for hours staring on the bluebirds. So Kim got this girl acting grown, but y'all still want to defend her. She's 12, going on 13. Have you forgotten? Have you forgotten what it's like to be a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old trying to figure out your own identity and your own fashion and your own style, playing around with hair bows and clips and different hair colors? That's exactly what she's doing. Don't forget what it was like to be a child, because then you don't have grace for children and sound like you do. I'm always going to defend the kids, baby. Don't start talking about no kids around me, like, and being like, they have to act a certain way. Girl, did you forget what it was like? I remember when I was 12 and 13 years old. I remember what I was playing around with. I just talked about it the other day. I wasn't really a makeup girl, but I did do my lip. I saw my mom lining her lips with that red Maybelline lip liner, brown. She would put brown, and she would put her lipstick on. My mom always wears like reddish lipstick. Ironically, I do not wear red lipstick. She would wear like red. She would line her lips. So I saw her doing that too. So I was like, okay, let me line my lips. I was a lip gloss girl, but maybe a little eyeliner. I think I did use black eyeliner. I used to put that black eyeliner inside. And then we started putting eyeliner on the top, messing around and playing around, like, and then like playing with your hair, putting shit in your hair, streaks in your hair. Some of your parents allowed you to start dyeing your hair when you were 15, 14, 15 years old, putting color in your hair, even if it was semi-permanent color. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, how do you forget when you forget what it was like to be a 12, 13, 14-year old, and then like you're saying, like shaking your finger, you're just like the adults that were shaking their finger at you, trying to put you in a box of how you should behave. No, you should. That's why it's so important to let children express themselves. Don't stifle them. Like if it's something that they want to do and you're like, I don't think they should do that, just have a conversation with them about it. Explain to them why they may want to wait. Don't say no, right? Because no is going to make them want to do it more. Just say, why don't you wait a couple of years and see how you feel about that? Let's not get it right now. You understand what I'm saying? There's ways that you can literally talk children out of doing stuff that you think is crazy. But for me, the way that my boys dress, they've always chosen how they dress. Even when they were little babies, I would grab two items and I would hold them up. And whatever one they grabbed, that's the one that they liked. That's how if they wanted to wear galoshes to school every day, those damn frog galoshes. I have a picture of my son in his diaper with them galoshes on, just his diaper, just laying on the bed with them damn galoshes on and a diaper. He did not want to take them off. I'm not going to disallow him to express himself. Because when you do that, you create something else. That's the creation of monsters. When you start stifling children, let them express themselves safely. If a boy wants to dye his hair blonde or pink, or let them do it. Let them express it. If he wants to wear a nail polish, let him wear a nail polish. If the little girl wants to wear overalls every day and dress like a quote boy or a tomboy, y'all have no problem with the little girls dressing like quote boys. But when the boys want to express themselves with what bows and hair bows and makeup and stuff, all of a sudden it's bad. Let them express themselves. You'll have safer they'll have safer experiences. You understand what I'm saying? You can always talk a child out of doing something. You can't always talk them out of it, but you can always kind of reason with them. I think it's important to be able to reason with children and explain to them. It's not just, no, you can't do this. No, North, I don't know about that. Don't you think your finger will reject it? That's me trying to talk you out of doing something I think will mess up your fingers. Let's talk to a piercer and let's see what they say. I don't think you have enough fat on your hand to do that. And I mean, it's cute. I think it's cute, but I don't know. Do you have enough fat right there? And then like just have the conversation. And she'll probably be like, oh yeah, no, I don't think I do. But I see my other friends, and sometimes you see your other friend doing it, peer pressure. So you want to do it. You have a lot of girls influenced by other girls. They see, oh look how her hair. Didn't y'all crimp your hair when you were in junior high school? Remember those crimping irons, girl, baby? I'm just like, how do you forget? Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I was talking to this guy at the DMV. I took my son to get his permit the other day, and he said something to me. Oh, what was it? He made a reference to being Gen X, and I was like, I'm Gen X too, and he was like, yes, and look at how we look. He said, because we don't forget our youthfulness. We don't forget what it was like to be a child. When you abandon and ignore, and maybe people ignore what it was like to be a child because they didn't like being a child and they didn't have a good experience being a child. I think I had a good experience as a child. Like, besides how my mother was, I think overall, like, my childhood was good. I had a good time. I was able to express myself. My grandmother would say stuff about me trying to, putting red lipstick on. My grandmother telling me, your lips. Maybe I didn't know. Maybe I was holding my lips like this with the red lipstick on. I don't know. But I decided not to wear red lipstick after that. Every now and again, I'll play around with red lipstick, but it's not my thing, right? And that's me playing around with stuff, playing around with different looks, doing your eyebrows, getting your eyebrows wrong, fucking up your eyebrows. I mean, like, come on. Like, that's just what it's about. I don't know. I don't like when people try to put confinements on children expressing themselves. I don't agree with that at all. As long, like, it's if it's safe, then I don't have a problem with it. Like, do whatever the fuck you want to do. You want to wear black nail polish, wear black nail polish. If you want to dye your hair, like, my son wants locks. I'm trying to talk him out of it because I have a feeling his head will look crazy if he gets locks. So I'm trying to like tell him to wait a little while, but he doesn't want to cut his hair. And then just yesterday he asked me, um, if I cut my hair, how long will it take to grow back? And I said, when cutting your hair and trimming your hair actually helps your hair grow because it gets off, it's like a plant, and you got to take off what is not beneficial to the hair anymore. And when you trim it or whatever, and you keep trimming it, it'll come back, it'll grow back, your hair grows back. He was like, how long do you think it would take me to grow my hair out? And I was like, probably 6 months. Like y'all hair grow, their hair grows fast. My youngest one, his hair is long, but he just keeps it like in a, how the kids wear their hair. Who are me to judge? When I took a picture, I went to a basketball game, my son's basketball game. I took a picture of all these black boys sitting with their hair looking crazy as hell, but just letting their hair grow naturally out of their hair, not combing it, not taking a tunnel to it. They lined up, but everybody's hair looked crazy. And then I look at basketball players and how their hair be looking on the court. A lot of them just letting if you see the younger ones, they just letting their hair grow naturally out of their head. Who are me to tell them? Who are me? Shout out to Andrew Caldwell. Who are me to tell them not to grow their hair like that? Let your hair grow the way, if you want your hair to grow. My oldest son, his hair is light at the top, only at the top because his hair has grown since then. But he dyed his hair. Can I dye my hair? Go for it. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. Express yourself. As long as it's safe, I have no problem with it. As long as it's not like you're putting yourself in, like I said, like the piercing and stuff like that. I will try. Like if you want to start piercing your face and stuff like that, wait until you are able to make your own decisions. I don't want to have anything to do with that. Right? I had my first tattoo when I was 18 years old. Like my mother took me to go get a tattoo. Her rationale was, I have a tattoo. I can't even tell you not to get a tattoo. But I was going to get tattoos regardless because I've always loved to be able to express yourself and tell your story on your body. I think it's an incredible way to express yourself is through um, tattoos. I still want to get a rose tattoo by Kevin Leroy. I'm gonna see how much he charges. His flowers are so pretty. He does his signature is like this rose, but I would do a rose and I have my other favorite flowers like chrysanthemum. I would do a bird of paradise, but I think that would have to come like I don't know. I'd have to ask somebody. I kind of want it to come onto my, but I don't have any room over here. I don't have any room over here either. Oh, God. Anyways, so yeah, let North do what she want to do as long as it's safe. They were like the other day when she had on that corset. I was like, I don't know. I don't know about showing cleavage at 12 years old, right? But then I don't want her to, you wouldn't want the daughter to feel self-conscious about her cleavage, right? Because she might, some 12-year-olds are really developed in their breasts, but because we know how society is, we kind of want to protect our children from men looking at them. You know what I'm saying? But we cannot live our lives confining ourselves because of men, right? You still be able to express yourself, but in a safe way, but not making them self-conscious. We don't want to make girls. I remember I used to wear two bras. I don't want nobody looking at me. I've been like when I tell you I've been before I even had negative experiences with men. I've always not wanted them to look at me. Don't look at me. You understand what I'm saying? I used to wear two bras. My mother used to get so frustrated with that. I wore two bras because I wore big clothes. I don't even know what size I was, like my legit size I was in high school. I have no idea because I always wore baggy clothes, Dickies, pajamas. I would wear pajamas to school. And then I think when like senior year, I started wearing like shorts, Daisy Dukes, and stuff like that. Stuff like, but I would always wear big clothes. I don't want you making comments about my body. And I went to an all girls school. I went to a private school, and then I went to all girls private school, and I didn't go co-ed until I was in high school, and I didn't even have a concept of like I didn't realize that my I didn't have the right type of ass until I got around boys and them telling me that how my butt was looking and how I didn't have a butt and how I didn't have this kind of shape. Then I was like, what? I didn't even, girl, I meant, that's the reason why I don't, because why are y'all commenting on my body? Like, that shit is weird. But that's just what the society we live in. And girls, like, dressing a certain way so that they could accentuate their newfound figures to entice and attract boys, right? I didn't want that. Girl, I'm wearing big shirts. If you see me from high school, it was very much left eye. Y'all saw that picture of me on Instagram where I'm sitting at my piano and I have on overalls. You can even see a pager. It's so fucking. It's just the best picture ever. I have bangs going across and my hair tied up in a little bun wrapped around. Everybody said I look like Left Eye. She was very much an inspiration to me as a teenager. She was the one I gravitated towards in that group was Left Eye. So I used to wear over like big pants with my boxers hanging out. It was just very much. I remember when it was prom. I tell the story all the time. When it was time for prom, they were like, "Erica, you gonna wear a tuxedo?" Because I didn't dress quote feminine. I very much dressed like a tomboy, a boy, butch, or masculine, whatever the way you would ever want to say. I was always dressed with big clothes. Maybe wore a smaller shirt, but I would always wear big clothes, pajamas. Always. I don't even know what size I was legitimately. I have no idea what size I was. Maybe a 12, 10, 12, maybe in high school, 14. I think when I graduated, I was size 14. Yeah, but I didn't know because I always wore big clothes. Don't look at me. Big clothes. I would dress in boys' clothes, like polo shirt, big polo shirts, big Tommy Hilfiger shirts, like big clothes. I mean, that was the style. That's the fashion. You see the kids are dressing like that. I saw somebody talking about Billie Eilish being dressed like Malibu's Most Wanted. I think it's important to recognize that streetwear, fashion, stuff like that, that was influenced by Black American culture, Black Caribbean, Black Latinos. I think that we set the trends. We set the trends. They were commenting negatively about the way that Billie Eilish dresses and how she dresses like Malibu's Most Wanted and how she's taking from the culture. No, she's not taking, she's being influenced by the culture and the fashion. We create the trends and you cannot gatekeep trends. People think that black folks are cool, yes, to a certain extent, and then they don't want to necessarily be black people because they see how black people are treated. But there are some people who want to be black people. You see in Korea, them niggas is over there trying to get their hair in the texture so they can have nappy hair. That's influence. That's like insane that like that you've influenced a culture so much that they want their hair like yours. That's incredible. It's incredible. It shouldn't be gate kept and being like seen negatively that these white girls are dressing in big clothes. And that's we set the standard, we set the fashion, we set the trends. Do they try to steal from us? Yes, but there's documentation going so far back. Grills are becoming very popular right now, and you see everybody wearing grills. White people, you name me a time when you see white people wearing grills, like in history is what I'm talking about. In history, not in contemporary times. I'm talking about in history because we know white boys in the South wear golds, grills, fronts, whatever you want to call them, depending on what area you're from in the country. They have a different name for your grills, fronts, golds, whatever it is. We set trends. You cannot say when you see a non-black person dressing a certain way, you have to say, "Oh, I can see you're influenced. You're influenced by our culture." And whether or not you will come to America and decide to not integrate with black people because you see how black people in America are treated, the fact is that you over there in Korea with a goddamn Adidas suit with a piece of cardboard on the floor break dancing. Shout out to Dapper Dan. Don't regionalize your culture while people are literally making money off of your culture. I say it all the time. Black people, I don't care if you have the meme. trademark phrases that come from your culture. If anybody should be making money off of your culture, is you. Off of our culture is us. If you have the means to trademark different sayings, trademark them shits. Yes. Anyways, what else we got to talk about? Girl, I told you I just feel like talking today. I'll let your body decide if this is good enough for you. Already folded up for you. Okay, let's see. Cardi B slays the cover of Billboard's R&B Hip Hop Powers Player Issues. Yeah, this picture is sick. This picture right here is sickening to me. 10 different looks, and my looks all kill. Okay, let's see. What else? Little girl goes viral for rapping Young Dolph. She's only going viral because she's white. Okay, so it says Chloe Malle, 39-year-old editor of Vogue's website and podcast co-host, to succeed Anna Wintour as the magazine's editor. 40 years old, 39 years old. She's the daughter of model and actress Candace Bergen. Oh, really? Oh, here she is. Okay, let's listen to what this guy has to say. His daughter, Chloe. Okay, wait. Wait, where did it go? Oh, here it is. Although Candace Bergen's daughter, Chloe Mal, was just announced as Anna Wintour's replacement over at Vogue, it may shock you to find out that at one point the most famous member of their family was this wooden puppet. This puppet was so important to him that he left his entire fortune to it, leaving Candace with nothing. Most people know Candace Bergen as an iconic actress in her own right, having been in Murphy Brown, Miss Congeniality, and even playing the head of Vogue on Sex and the City. But what you might not know is she had one of the most unconventional childhoods in Hollywood history. Meet Candace's father, Edgar Bergen. He was the most famous ventriloquist of Hollywood's golden age, and his puppet Charlie McCarthy was more than just a character. In 1937, he was the biggest star on radio. Edgar was only 19 years old when he bought this dummy, and in May of 1937, the Chase and Sanborn Hour debuted, becoming a huge hit, and by December of that year, he went from making $270 a week to $14,000 a week. Charlie McCarthy was so famous that he would end up receiving an honorary Oscar made of wood, performing alongside superstars like Mae West, Groucho Marx, Frank Sinatra, Liberace, and even the Muppets. By the end of Edgar's career, he had appeared in dozens of films and even received 3 Hollywood stars on the Walk of Fame. Candace said that she grew up with what she called the curse of the wooden brother, and although she would have a massive career as an actress winning Golden Globes and Emmys, when her father was still alive, she lived in Charlie's shadow. You see, after her father passed away, a lawyer read her and her mother his will, and that's when they found out about the Charlie Fund. The Charlie Fund was money that was set aside by her father for charitable ventriloquism performances at orphanages and for children who were disabled. Candace said that she had been chasing her father's approval her entire life, only to realize that he left everything to his puppet and nothing to her. Thankfully, she has forged her own legendary career, and now her daughter has done the same. It's just so crazy to think that at one point in this Hollywood dynasty, a wooden and plastic dummy was the biggest star of all. Although Candace... Well, shout out to Candace Bergen. Candace Bergen was fine as hell when she was a young woman. Hold on, let me show you. She was a model, Candace. Young Candace Bergen. I think she was beautiful, bitch. Look at this. Come on, bitch. She was beautiful. Look at her. That's Candace Bergen. Yes, Murphy Brown, Candace Bergen. Look, she was beautiful. A lot of people forget that she was a model, or a lot of people don't know that she was a model. This is the picture for me, though. This is the one. That's the one for me. Come on, bitch. We love it. And here's her a little older. Now you can see her like coming into her face that we know now. And I don't think she's got very much work done. Look at her. I don't think she's got much work done, Candace Bergen. I think she's just aging as she ages. Here she go. Yeah, a lot of people forget a lot. Here she's older, of course, but then a lot of people don't forget that a lot of people forget or don't know that Candace Bergen was a model. before everything. Yeah. Where's a picture that I like? Oh, this picture too. Look at this one. Yeah. Yup. She was a fairy. Yeah. Yeah. So shout out to Candace Bergen's daughter for being the next editor in chief of Vogue. That's impressive.
The magazine is naming top editor Chloe Mal as the new head of
Mal.
editorial content. Mal is taking the lead as Anna Wintour is leaving the editor-in-chief role she's held for 37 years. Mal says in a statement, Vogue has already shaped who I am. Now I'm excited at the prospect of shaping Vogue.
Nice.
And Vogue is also mixed.
Nice. So shout out to her. To me, that's a good accomplishment. We really don't have anything to talk about. Okay, somebody asked for my thoughts on this, so let's hear what Professor Odie has to say.
Does not include no POC.
Okay.
The concept of femininity does not include no POC.
The same way the concept of masculinity does not include POC. As an Afrocentric researcher, clinician, and therapist, I live for the day where y'all stop having these masculinity and femininity conversations as if though black men and black women were not utilized as inverses to these concepts. I keep trying to explain to y'all, as other Afrocentric scholars have explained in the past, that pre-colonial African ideologies of masculinity and femininity were reciprocal. They were integral to one another, which is the reason why historically black relationships have been egalitarian. They've also been strength-based. That means that based upon what each person is good at, they contribute to the entire functioning of the relationship. The idea that black women are less feminine is a centuries-old racist trope to make women of other races seem more feminine. Similarly, the trope that black men are uncontrollably masculine is also a centuries-old racist trope in order to make the men of other races seem more refined and more civilized. What does this have to do with relationships? And what does this have to do with people consistently coming at black women's femininity? Like my man said in the previous video, all of these nut-ass conversations are extensions of white supremacy. It is to reinforce and reiterate the idea that femininity that is subjugated and controlled by masculinity is the superior femininity. Because the largest complaints that y'all have about black women's femininity, they don't treat us right. They don't cook and clean. But once again, that comes back to the question. Are we giving these women what they're asking for? Or are we performing this masculinity that then we expect them to respond to? So in other words, outside of material, are you providing to them spiritually? Are you giving to them emotionally? Traditional masculinity does not require us to do that because traditional masculinity was based on the subjugation of other races, cultures, and women. So once again, what does this have to do with black femininity? Bro, have y'all ever thought that black women are just tired of taking care of everybody else but themselves, historically and currently, and that they're only willing to give what it is that they will get in return? Like, come on, bro, there's a reason why when white women don't want to be doormats no more, they seek black women out. It's not that black women are less feminine. We are expecting a type of femininity from black women that is not culturally aligned to the femininity that they came from, period.
Very good. Very good. Professor, I don't agree with everything Professor Odie has to say. And sometimes his perspective, I'm like, I don't know. But this right here is on fucking point. When I say, when people are trying to put you in a box of what femininity looks like and what masculinity looks like, it is very much a tentacle of the illusion of white superiority. And those views of your femininity, when you guys are, oh, I'm over here performing femininity, who what rule book are you using? What standards are you using? And where did those standards come from? They're not standards that even included you. So that for you to go around trying to reinforce something that never includes you, you got to work on that. You got to work on that. You are enforcing ideas that oppress you. You have to unpack that. You have to unlearn that. And it takes unlearning because for generations you've had groups of black people who want to assimilate into the illusion of white superiority. That's why colorism is so prevalent and light skins versus dark skins, because y'all are really trying to assimilate to a system that ultimately will harm you. That's by design. So when you're restricting men to ideas of masculinity to the point where they can't even eat a hot dog in front of you, bitch. They can't lick a lollipop. They can't suck on a lollipop. They won't eat a banana because their ideas of masculinity are so rooted in trying to hold on to this performance of masculinity that isn't even the true performance. That's why it's toxic. Masculinity provides order. Doesn't mean that it's exclusive to men. That's another thing. Believing that your masculinity, that masculinity is exclusive to people with penises and that femininity is exclusive to people with vaginas is simply untrue, because both of them are performance and aspects of each other, and one person embodies both because we come for both. We are both. Creator is of both. So we're everything. We are literally specks in this whole thing. So because you come from both, you are both. And that's why you can lean into one side and lean into the other side. And it becomes toxic when you reject the other side. And part of the patriarchy in this system is to reject and rape the feminine. To the worst thing you can be in under a system of patriarchy is like a girl. Your ideas of masculinity and femininity are skewed. If you and the first thing you have to untie is believing that masculinity is exclusive to people with penises. That's the first thing. And femininity is exclusive to people with vaginas. You gotta unleash that. Then this idea that femininity is pink and pretty, when the feminine embodied by a woman in her femininity of giving birth, we talked about it being an issue of life and death, an issue of war, a bloody war of life and death happening at the same time. You believing men can't look a certain way because they're too feminine, and this rejection of the feminine. If you don't realize how prevalent it is in our system, that is the reason why you have to step outside of it and be open enough and to widen your mind. Don't open your mind so much that your fucking brain falls out, but have a mind open enough to understand that, damn, what I learned about masculinity was wrong. How I was told to perform masculinity was actually a detriment to my overall well being as a man. Rejecting the feminine made me have lopsided relationships. Then my rejecting the feminine made me believe that women were in a hierarchy and I was above them, or women came from my rib. And you know that's biologically impossible, but you even using it as a way to exert some type of hierarchy over women. Women believing that just because men exist with penises that they're supposed to lead and protect them. That's not true. It is not true. It's not. It's just simply not true. That's why he said the households are egalitarian, because that's how masculine and femininity and masculine energy and feminine energy work. You can't, it does not work if they're not together. Yin and yang. You cannot do it if it's not together. When it's in balance, it looks like the world. When you see a man that is balancing his masculine and feminine energy, and he's not using his feminine energy to manipulate people like pimps do, ask a pimp. A pimp understands the parallel of the feminine and the masculine operating in one person at the same time, being able to attract men and women, being able to do that. Telling a man, and women reinforce those toxic masculinity ideologies as well. Don't cry. A man can't do this. Man can't sip through straws. A man shouldn't be sipping through a straw. Girl, what the fuck? All these things that you ascribe to what being a man is, it's like, what are you talking about? Where did you get that from? Who taught you that? That's why the households are egalitarian. That's why it doesn't make sense to even be talking about, even to be talking about 50-50 relationships. You have to work 50-50. That's how things get done. And I would love more, especially Black people, to come to the front and be like, yes, My household is egalitarian. But this desire to want to live in these relationships where it's like a traditional, like the idea of what traditional is supposed to be, even though people are not living like that. People literally are not. I showed you the other day on the screen, the nuclear family has not been the norm for several generations. It hasn't been the norm since the 80s, since the late 70s. That nuclear family is, and people trying to conserve that. You're conservative. You're conservative. Black people are very conservative, very conservative, very much. We need to be assimilated in this illusion of white superiority because that's how you're gonna get ahead. No, 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 no. Hold on. Let me go back because I want to go back to what he said because I want to read some of the comments.
The concept of femininity does not include no POC. The same way the concept of masculinity does not include POC. As an Afrocentric researcher, clinician, and therapist, I live for the day where y'all stop having these masculinity and femininity conversations as if though black men and black women were not utilized as inverses to these.
Okay, I'm going to read some of the comments. White femininity is often performance of social standards. Black women don't perform femininity, we embody it. The problem is that society refuses to recognize a femininity that doesn't look Eurocentric. And I need for y'all to stop saying that a certain nose or certain features are Eurocentric. If you look at black people's faces, they come in all shapes and sizes. From like if you go to Africa, okay, just go to the motherland and look at the faces of the people and how all the different faces, wide noses, thin noses, high cheekbones, all the facial features. There's no such thing as Eurocentric features. No such thing. I think we should get out of that as well. There's no such thing as a Eurocentric standard. There is no standard. You don't even look that in that way. That's not the standard. You do not measure yourself to the most violent group of people in human history. They're not the standard for anything. Look, if I can cook and she can't, why am I making her cook? I decided to study cooking. If she's stronger and enjoys protecting herself, that doesn't mean she's not a woman. If she's pregnant, I will have to cook and clean and protect her while she's busy regardless. So everybody needs to tighten up and do their best jobs together. As I explained to my sons, we're cogs in a wheel, in a system. I tell them to think about a clock, and inside of the clock, everything is moving together. We have to work together. We have to cooperate. We have to collaborate. There's not one person just moving the wheel. But if you're operating from this idea, I want to be traditional and I want to rest in my femininity, but you end up being the maid and the mule and the mattress and the manager and the medic and the maitre d' and the mechanic and the what else? Oh, the meteorologist. That's your favorite. Girl, you doing all that work. And you resting in your femininity? He pay all the bills. And you're basically what? Doing what? Working for room and board? I don't like it. I don't like that. I don't like that. And nobody should want to even replicate no shit like that. You should like that's why the 50-50 conversation makes no sense to me because you do want to go half. We need to share in this. This is an equal relationship. We are equals to each other. You're not here. That your purpose here, a man's purpose on this earth is not to protect women while he's also your apex predator. Do you understand how that doesn't go together? We in our system of patriarchy, women are the subject of oppression. When you see these married single mothers and these women in the relationship talking about they doing all the work, the only time my femininity is questioned is when I'm not allowing myself to be disrespected or subjugated. Yogic concepts of feminine and masculine were never gender based either and is grounded in the energetic expressions of unity and reciprocity regardless of race. This is a fundamental human thing. Exactly. I love you, black man.
Who are these niggas?
Girl. Why the fuck do we still give a fuck about what any other race or ethnicity of people have to say about us? Because so many black people are trying to emulate and assimilate to an idea that oppresses them. When y'all are homophobic and transphobic, you are lending to the same system that oppresses you. You do. Unlearn this way quickly, black man, before you lose out on a good black woman. This is true. Masculinity and femininity are social constructs heavily influenced by and tailored by colonization. No, masculine and femininity are not social constructs. The aspects of masculinity and femininity you feel are fueled and defined by the society. But there are, when you go throughout history and you look at ancient texts, you understand that all of us are both. You are literally an extension of God. Got it? You just happen to be in a body with a vagina and a body with a penis, but you're an extension of the source energy. So you are both, all and none at the same time. So you have to unlearn. First thing you have to unlearn is masculinity is exclusive to men. You have to unlearn that men are here to protect and provide for you. You are literally in a system of patriarchy. If a man isn't balanced in his feminine and masculine aspects, he's going to be a danger to whoever he's in proximity to. And we can see it every day. We see it every single day. And women have to be mindful of the rules and restrictions that you place on men who are performing femininity. Women have to unlearn that men are supposed to show up in a certain way. Nobody's supposed to do anything. We always get fucked up on what we think someone is supposed to do. Men are not here to protect and provide for you. That's not their role. No matter what that Bible says. Oh, somebody else said something about a Bible to me. Sent me something about a Bible. Hold on. What was that? That comment. It was about, hold on, let me see if I have it. I'll let your body decide if this is good enough for you. Already folded up for you. Already folded up for you. I'll let your body decide. Oh, here it is. Okay, let's see. It says divinity. This is from the Christian Smith, Christian A. Smith. I guess he is a community builder. He is a pastor, and I think you guys have tagged me in his videos before because he's very much a progressive type of um, um, education that he gives. I imagine it's faith based. Curator of the Greatest Commandment Theology. He is the host of Holy Smoke Movement, and he is the founder and pastor of TFC Virtual. So I don't know if he has a virtual church, but here he is. Somebody tagged me in it, or I think T.S. Madison might have retweeted it, and I saw it. Not retweeted it, reposted it, and I saw it on Instagram. So it says how to debate the Bible with a fundamentalist Christian. So let's listen to what he has to say.
Oh, I mean, the Bible, like God, has always spoken through his word. How do we hear from God before we had a Bible? Y'all, the silence, the uncomfortable silence at that table was deafening. And they started scrambling. Oh, well, no, I mean the word, because the Bible, like God, has always spoken through his word. I was like, yeah, I'm just saying though, humans were here and connected to God before.
That's why I say the concept of marriage and all this stuff. What were people doing before that? What were people doing People were still joining in unions. People were like, these things that you are trying to reinforce are just creations of society, and you literally do not have to participate in them. You don't.
Any of these.
Girl.
Connect to God and hear from God before the Bible. Well, I mean, yeah, the Spirit, we heard through the Spirit. I was like, yeah, and we hear through the Spirit today too. You've replaced the Spirit with the Bible. Mm-hmm. And I said, you got to understand, the Bible is a cultural phenomenon. The Bible is a collection of writings from a particular group of people during a particular time period in the world. And they're writing about their personal experiences with the divine. So when we're talking about the Bible, y'all are coming in here with these basic assumptions that everybody thinks the Bible is the inerrant word of God. That is not my belief. I can't box everything there is to know about God in this book. So yeah, my faith and my spirituality includes this book, but it's not limited to this book. So how do we hear from God?
Okay, that's a very interesting perspective. What do y'all think about that? It said, it struck me when a pastor said the Bible is sacred and valuable, but Jesus didn't promise his disciples to send them the book. He promised to send the Spirit. It opened my mind. The Bible reveals God. It cannot contain him. And this is, I don't resonate with Father God religions. I don't. Because it's a tool used, is a tool in the patriarchy, right? People use the Bible to subjugate people. People today use the Bible to subjugate women. Women are literally running through church trying to find somebody to lead them somewhere.
It was gone.
Let me just go in the bush and weep. Let me just go in the bush and weep. I just have to go in the bush and weep. Really.
Oh, let me tell you, I just felt my skin. I did like a matcha mask, and then I did a collagen mask afterwards. You know, you sleep with a collagen mask and it gets hard and you just peel it off in the morning. Oh, it feels so good. And then I did this, I have this watermelon moisturizer that I got from Sephora. Oh, yes, I love it. I love it. I have on nothing, no makeup, no nothing. Look at my dark circles. They're not prevalent, but they're still here. They're not prevalent. But look, get into it. I just have moisturizer on my face, my watermelon moisturizer. But also coming off of the evening with my mask, my matcha cooling mask, and then my collagen mask. You can get the collagen mask online. You know, you can get them anywhere. I'll let your body decide if this is good enough for you. But you see, I don't have any concealer on. But you see how the dark, like, they're still a little bit dark, but they're not as dark. And I've always felt like my dark circles under my eyes were just part of the way I looked, because I've had them since I was younger. You understand what I'm saying? So it's good. All right, so I agree with him. I agree with him to a certain extent, but then I can't. It's hard to get in dialogue about stuff like that, because then I start seeing people using him and he and him for the entity of God is both. Like I always say, God is non-binary because it's both. The energy is both. We are from both. We come from both. It's both, all, and none at the same time. Got it? Got it. Many aren't ready for this conversation. They really aren't. But shout out to him. A couple of y'all have been tagging me in that post. So I decided that I was going to. I can't wait till Maxine's medicine gets here. I think that's it that I have. Oh my God, this is an hour video. Oh my God, guys. Okay. I gotta go. I gotta go. I've made 3 videos today. Take care of each other, protect your energy. We're not talking about nothing, girl. We just doing what we just flying by the seat of our pants down here. Now I don't want to make another video. I think 3 videos today is enough. I'll see y'all in la mañana. Take care of each other, protect your energy. Peace.